snuck into the second movie, right? I can't even tell you what the name of the movie was.
Because she couldn't keep her lips off me.
He reached in while we got in the seat, and he reached in and kissed me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
That was his to me.
He reached in and kissed me, and
Whatever.
yes, I kissed back, and so we kissed the entire.
Hey, guys,
what's going on?
welcome back. So we can spill this tea, this juicy tea that
was
you
so
know.
loud. You were mad loud, like you ain't have a mic right there.
I didn't have it up. I just put it up here, but we ready for this new tea. It's juicy tea.
So you know what? You was causing trouble.
I didn't cause no trouble.
You did.
I just kept it 100. Did you or did you not?
You insinuated that I was being a fast tail on our first date, and it wasn't technically on our first date, so that would be incorrect. It was the second date where I was trying to get to know you.
That first time didn't count.
Yes, it did. Okay, so
because they already know about that.
Do y'all know about the first date? Let me know right now. They already said no. They said no.
They know that we went out and we had a long conversation, and you couldn't keep your eyes off me then.
Antoine, they don't know about it, so let's break it down.
All right, you can break that part down.
Okay, so I'm gonna break down the first date. Okay, I know because it's so many parts. So let me know in the comments if you know how we met, please, because that's just too much to go back and tell you right at this moment. And
she fell in love at first sight.
Fell in love at first sight. Didn't even see his face. Yada yada yada.
I don't believe that part.
Oh my gosh! So we're gonna have to tell you. I'm gonna give you the fast track story of how we first met.
No, we don't got to do that. Just get into the date. They want to hear it. We'll double back.
All right. So if y'all want to hear about the first date, I will tell you about the first date. But I'm gonna let you know right now. It's very significant to know about how not the first date.
The first time we met.
You have to know how we met in order to understand the first date. So first date, fast track. Okay, we was on a date. He took me out. First of all, Antoine was very parshed, meaning that he was trying to take me out immediately. You know what I mean? Once we started to talk, he was like, "Let's go out today," and I was like, "Not today. We'll go out tomorrow."
I don't even believe that part.
All right.
Because I remember I had a conversation and we went out.
I wish I had the text messages, but I don't have the receipt, so it's okay.
Because you're gonna make it seem like it because you put your hands on me first.
That was on the second date. The first date, you guys, we went to a lounge or like Antoine. On the first date, Antoine invited me to go somewhere. We went to a place to go hang out and chill. So we got there. I wasn't 21 yet, you guys, but I told him that I was, so I lied.
Mm-hmm.
And so he invited me to go out to like this small place, this intimate place where you can kind of get drinks and just kind of chill. And so we went over there, and I was afraid, so I had my girlfriend come and attend this first date with me. It was against her own will. She didn't want to do it, but I told her.
You could have told me that, so somebody could come talk to her.
I didn't know. See, that's why you guys have to understand the first date. Right, drop it down in the comments if you want us to talk about the first date. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a long story, so I can't share it right now but drop it down in the comments. If you don't know and you're interested in knowing how Antoine and I met, please let me know. Okay. So we're at this date. I was afraid to meet him by myself because I never met this person. I was new to town. I didn't want to meet a complete psychopath who was going to kill me, right? Because I still had a 2-year-old daughter at this time. So I begged my friend. I said, "Can you please just come with me?" She was like, "I'm not going to be the third wheel." And I was like, "Just please come with me."
She could have picked up the phone, so I'm bringing a friend of mine. That would have been not a problem.
She came with me. She said, "I'm going to stay for 10 minutes and I'm going to leave." So we get there, right? I wasn't used to going to bars and stuff. Get there, and Antoine's like, he had water, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" I was like, "Nice to meet you." And so he was just like, "Would you like something to drink?" And I was like, so now you know me, I'm afraid because I'm not 21 and I'm in a bar. So I was like, yeah, I'll take a glass of wine. And he was like, what kind of wine? And so I ordered the most disgusting wine ever, but it was something that I heard everyone order. I ordered Chardonnay.
It didn't seem like it was disgusting.
I didn't even drink it. Stop it. I did not even drink it.
All right, so she didn't drink the bottle. I mean
the glass. Antoine wasn't drinking, so I thought he was a non-drinker, right? He fooled me. But my girlfriend ordered. You remember what she ordered?
Some white stuff.
No, she didn't. White stuff.
What she ordered? I wasn't paying
She
no
ordered
mind.
like a whiskey and Jack. Like she was like Jack and whiskey, like something. She was like Jack Daniels and Coke. It was a Jack Daniels and Coke.
I wasn't paying her no mind.
Like she came in and she was 21, y'all. Needlessly to say, she was about 26. So she was like
She a pro.
She was a pro. Come on in, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you. Right. She was a pro. So she was like, I know what I want. Thank you. Yes, y'all. I'm going to be eating. Thank you. And my food was heating up. I was cooking my own food, but we wanted to do this video. So. Thank you, Lisa.
Trying to always take the credit.
I was not technically trying to take the credit.
But why you waved at me, not her? I ain't say nothing. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I'm sorry. Thank you so much.
Say your grace so we get on with this.
Heavenly Father, please bless this food and continue to bless this conversation and let Antwan not fib. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Me fib?
So, y'all.
I think that night you couldn't get your hands on me either.
I did not put my hands on you that night. So, you guys, we're supposed to be talking about the second date, but first date is very significant. First date, I ordered a Chardonnay. Then we went to the bathroom. Me and my friend went to the bathroom, and I was afraid to leave my drink because I was like, this guy could be a psychopath, right? But I was like, you know what? I can't take the drink with me to the bathroom. So we walked to the bathroom. She was like, I'm finna get out of here. Like, you're good to go. I've been here. I'm done. I finished my drink. I'm ready to leave. And I was like, okay, all right, no problem. So then she leaves out. I go back and I'm talking to Antwan, and I went to go sip my Chardonnay, and he leans in and tells me, he's like, you know, you should never do that. And I said, I should never do what? He said, you should never leave your drink unattended. And so at this moment, I'm convinced that this man just poisoned me. And I'm like dead smack, like, do I finish the drink or what? And so then the rest of the night we talked. So I'm going to tell you, we stayed at the bar for needlessly to say, I never ordered nothing else. We stayed there until close.
You didn't order nothing else?
No, I didn't order anything else to drink, and we didn't even eat there. Like, we were just drinking. You gotta wait and tell the story. You can tell that part.
I'm just saying.
How long was we at the bar?
All night.
How long is all night?
So like what, 11, 1, 2?
It was about until 1 o'clock in the morning, and so we met about maybe 7 o'clock. So 7 to 1, we was there for about 6 hours. That's what I was waiting for you to say. We was there for about 6 hours, and we just talked the entire time. And it was so cool. Like, he wasn't drinking any alcohol. I think I barely finished my drink, and we just talked. Afterwards, they literally was turning the lights off, you guys. And they were like, okay, we're closing, guys. And we're like, oh, snap, we didn't even realize it's been 6 hours. And then he looks at me. He's like, you want to go grab something to eat? And I'm like, yeah.
So if I'm parched, what is that?
Oh, my Lord. He was parched, you guys.
You went to Denny's, though.
He took me to Denny's, you guys, at 1 something in the morning.
That's the only place that was open.
Right. So we had 2 cars. He had his car. I had my car. We drove separate cars. We went to Denny's. And it was so dope. Like, we was just there. It was nice.
Where you sat at?
So we sat on the same side of the bench.
She wanted to sit close to me.
You know what I mean? Like,
and she wanted to eat my food.
So this is when I realized that this man notoriously orders the best meal ever. It doesn't matter what restaurant. He don't even have to be like, it could be his first time at this restaurant, you guys. He's going to order the better meal. That's where it begun. Okay.
What begun?
He ordered some type of tilapia and shrimp. Now, like, listen, now this is Denny's, right? You order like
I ordered a skillet
and bacon or something, like, you know what I mean? So that's some type of stuff I ordered. When I tell you, this man ordered some like Francois type of meal, and
it was steak, shrimp, and I told him to put fish on it.
It was amazing, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" So me,
it was a skillet.
I'm from a big family. I didn't realize Antwan. Like, he told me he was the only child. I'm from a big family, so we eat off of everybody's plate. That's just, you know what I mean, at that time, like, duh. So I literally go with my fork, and I was like, "Oh, that looks so good." So I tried to go and get his, and he allowed me to, but first he kind of did one of these numbers, like, and I was like, "Oh, he's selfish."
You don't play with nobody.
But
food.
I was like, he not gonna let me share some of his food.
You supposed to automatically. I told you to order what you wanted.
Right, but I didn't know what.
You could have ordered 3. You don't know what to order from Denny's?
I wasn't like, Denny's wasn't my place. Obviously, that's where you took the ladies, but Denny's wasn't the place.
How was my place where I took the ladies?
I mean, but who goes to Denny's?
At 1 o'clock in the morning, where you going?
Okay, but you see, at that time of day, like I was a parent. You know what I mean? He wasn't a parent. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually in the bed. You know what I mean? Anyway, you guys, he was like,
until we got together, I don't believe you was in the bed at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I was.
No,
I was.
I don't believe it.
Y'all, he didn't want to share his food. And so I was like, that was a red flag for me. And then finally he was like, I told you can order what you want. I was like, okay. I was like, but let me just try it. So he was like, here. So I was like, this man is selfish, Lord. So I had some of that. His food was so amazing. It made my food taste like dirt. But anyway, the date went nice.
When you let somebody tell the story, they tell the story incorrectly, as if you was a rude guy, after being with somebody for 6 hours, that don't make sense. But I'll let you finish.
He was rude. Layla, please go downstairs. Thank you.
Go downstairs, Layla. But so what happened?
So after we finished the night,
she tried to take me home.
No, I didn't.
You tried to take me home.
Tell me what happened.
What happened? I followed you home. It was snowing.
So we went to go pay. Remember, because Denny's, you got to get up and you got to pay at the register and then leave. And then I was broke. So I was like, oh man, he just paid for my drink at the other place, and now he's taking me out to Denny's. Like, I was like, man, I should offer to pay, but I ain't got no money. But
what you mean offer to pay?
I don't know. I just didn't want So then we went our separate ways.
Oh, that could tell you what type of men she was dealing with before she met me. Because if somebody invites you somewhere, that means that they got it. I never was taught that I'm taking a girl out or taking a woman out to somewhere and saying, oh, I'll take you to the movies, and she's expecting to pay. That makes no sense.
Thank you for being a gentleman.
Nah. That makes no sense. Especially if you know you didn't have it.
Like, what you want me to say?
If you didn't have it, then you don't got it. So why you even I took you out.
Well, thank you for being a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Before we left, you guys, he said, so where are we going tomorrow? Do you want to go to movies? And I was like, date number 1 haven't even finished. He talking about the movies? So I was like, yeah, let's go to the movies tomorrow.
So was I the only one?
No, I was very much hyped. I was very much hyped. He was very what's the word? Is it chauvinistic? He was just you was a gentleman. You was very much a gentleman. The next day he went to work. I think I was in school at the time, so I went to school and stuff. We met up afterwards. He came and he picked me up from my apartment, and he took me out to the movies. So immediately, you gotta tell the story. So immediately, I get into his car.
So she get in the car, and I'm playing. I like R&B. I like Raheem Devine. Old R&B. Carl Thomas, emotional album, crazy. It's a lot of R&B albums that's crazy. She gets in her car and puts in this group called Train. I never even heard before. Ho ho ho, man. First of all, I'm not in the holidays. That is number one thing with Bobby. If you, I'd rather celebrate Christmas on the 29th instead of the 25th.
Right. We met in December.
We met in December. I'm not a holiday person. I don't believe it. I don't believe that just because holidays. Because what we do as people, we get together on holidays and funerals. And I don't agree with it. But she got in the car and wanted to listen to Train. I looked at her, and then I ain't have a problem with it. So we drove all the way to the movie theaters listening to this group that I never heard of.
Okay, so y'all gotta look up Train, but for y'all who don't know Train is a very it's a white group of men that I was so different at that time. So at that time, I didn't, and I'm still different, obviously you guys know that, but I didn't like R&B. I met him and he was very much obviously he was a black dude. At that point, I wasn't really talking to black guys. I'm just gonna be honest. I was talking to other guys of other races, So when I met him, he reminded me so much of I won't say my people, but a people I grew up with. He reminded me.
People.
He reminded me of an older brother type, an older cousin type, one of my male cousins. He just reminded me of that. So I was like, oh my goodness.
You thought of me of your cousin or brother or something?
Not like that. I knew when I said that somebody was gonna think. No, you gave me
a black man.
a black man older vibe. But at
Right.
that point, I didn't date a black man. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have to be honest. Like I didn't date a black man.
Mm-hmm.
And the black, like, I didn't date a black man. Like, let's just keep it like that. I was dating men of the races, and it was different.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that it was just different, you know. So I was listening to Train, and he kind of looked at me and like, you touching my CD player, and I was just like, yeah.
You ain't supposed to touch no black man, bro.
Or somebody else's radio in their car, like, who does that? Samvia did that, and it was like Antoine was feeling that, you guys.
I was
like,
feeling what? Train?
No, you was feeling that. I was very much like, I was spicy. Like for him, I was spicy. You knew it. I was different. Was I not?
You was different, but like
that didn't turn you on. Like that made him be like, "Yup, that's another reason I like her. She was spicy." Like
yeah, I like you had a haircut too. Like you used to do something different with your hair. I like that.
Had short haircut at the time. And like the Rihanna style. This was 2010, so the Rihanna haircut style was like everything was short, and then you had the long in the front. And then I had like the blonde in the front. It was real cute. I'm gonna have to show y'all a picture one day. But it was real cute.
They go like, girl, I want to see that picture.
I was real cute, y'all. Like real
you was cute. And she was thick.
Yeah, very much thick.
As a snicker.
Yeah, that was one kid thick. Like, you know what I mean? So I was thick, real cute. Anyway, we go to the movies, right? And so we go to the movie theater. This is the second date, y'all. This is what he's trying to talk to y'all about.
The first date, you was undressing me with your eyes.
I was undressing him with my eyes?
He was. Second date.
We went to the movies. And when I tell you that we got some movies, he asked like...
What's the name of the movie we went to see?
We saw it. I think it was with Angelina Jolie and that guy who played in not Candyland, Alice Wonderland. What's his name? What's his name?
I forgot his name. I don't know his name. You know, I don't know actors.
Johnny Depp.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Angelina Jolie with Johnny Depp. It was called Taurus.
Taurus.
And it was a really good movie. And so at this time, like,
you seen the movie?
But
that night, did you see the movie?
Yes, we saw the movie. The second movie, I can't tell you what it was about, but the first movie we saw. But can I tell you, like, he said, "Do you want something?" And I was just like, "Nah, like I'm good." But my thing is, like, we at the movies. What you mean? Do I want something? Yes, get some popcorn with extra butter. Get the nachos with the cheese. Get me a soda. Like,
see, that's the thing. With me.
We watched the movie with no snacks.
See, I don't care for popcorn and stuff at movies.
Oh my Lord.
If you want something and it's offered to you and you being bashful about it, then that's not my problem.
I was trying to be very modest, you guys. Like very modest.
But that's the you don't think that's a problem? If somebody offers you?
But
that's just like at Denny's. You talking about if I took you to Denny's or if I told you we going to get drinks and you still thinking that you supposed to pay, that don't make sense to me.
But you could have just been like, come on, we're gonna go get some popcorn. Like, let her get a popcorn. Let her get like.
That don't make sense. I'm sorry, that don't make sense to me. If you was over and I said, because if I don't eat it, that's like we go
fine.
Do we go to Chinese restaurants and I don't eat Chinese food?
Yeah.
So if I'm not eating it, I don't eat it. I don't care for popcorn and all the corners and all nachos and cheese, and the cheese ain't even hot.
So he didn't. He said he did say, "Do you want anything?" And I didn't say anything. I said, "No, I'm good."
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get himself a water, a soda, a nothing. Who does that? That was a red flag for me. Anyway, we got to the movie, so we're watching the movies, and like we're like the only ones in the movie theater.
She tried to,
and we didn't realize it was going to be a snowstorm, so we was the only ones in the movie theater watching this movie. Then the movie was good, but we trying to like watch it, and it's kind of awkward because it's like Mr. Henry is kind of doing one of these numbers. I promise you, like he did like this.
It's not awkward.
So we watched the movie, the first movie.
What did you do when you did that? When I did that?
I kind of just got a little closer. I kind of moved the armrest out the way.
Come on.
I did.
You was in it like you was about to fall asleep.
No, we watched the movie, y'all. About time the second movie came, I sat in
that's the spicy stuff they talking about. Because you try to make it as if you telling the right thing about the movie. You did not. You're not.
The first movie he just got closer. He did one of these numbers,
and like, you did what you.
And I got you get snug. He got.
I ain't even pull you close. You was like this already before I even put my arm up.
That's not the truth. It probably was cold, so I probably was like that.
So which one is it? You wasn't or you was? gotta make up. You gotta make your choice. You gotta make a decision.
You guys, by the time that we got to the second one, it was us again. We snuck into the second movie, right? I can't even tell you what the name of the movie was.
Because she couldn't keep her lips off me.
He reached in while we got in the seat, and he reached in and kissed me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So
that was history.
He reached in and kissed me.
Whatever.
And yes, I kissed back, and so we kissed the entire movie. So I don't remember what movie it was.
2 hours of kissing, and she tried to do other stuff.
No, I did not. No, I did not. Not in the movie theater. So he had to drive me back home, and so once we got back home, you guys, it was snowing. So it's like we had to, we had to take it easy because it was a snowstorm. And so once we got back home, and I was like, "You can't leave. You can't drive back home in that." I said, "You can stay. You can stay."
That's not what she was applying.
I did say that. I was like, "You can stay over." He was like, "All right, no problem." This man, let me tell y'all, I don't know what kind of women he was talking to, but let me tell you what he tried to do, right? He came in, and I, me, I heard and took my shower, you know what I mean? Took a shower and stuff like that. He was a gentleman. He sat out there, took a shower, and he thought he was gonna sleep in my bed with his outside clothes on.
No, I didn't.
And he thought he was gonna sleep in my bed without taking a shower. Did you not?
She wanted me to take a shower for other reasons.
No, I didn't. You was just outside all day. We just sat in the movie theater.
I've never been to a woman's house that had like men's soap and stuff like that. I use certain stuff, you know what I'm saying?
That is a blatant lie.
I use certain stuff.
Soap is soap. Here is a bar of soap.
It's like now she had a bar
behind up.
And she kept trying to peek in the bathroom.
I was. So he didn't took a shower. You did take a shower though, right?
I think so. I'm not sure, but I know you. Whatever I was, every time I went,
you take a. I think I really let he.
She let me take a shower, and she kept peeking in the bathroom. You good? Are you all right?
Let me tell you.
I'm looking, and I'm like, if you wanted to come in, you could have just came in. It's your house, not mine.
So he took a shower. All right. Now it's time for us to lay down. So he was a gentleman. He put back on his clothes and stuff like that. So that's what I'm trying to think. I don't know if you took a shower. I think I let you lay in the bed nasty like that.
I ain't had my outside clothes on if I laid in the bed.
You was in underclothes.
Right.
You was in underclothes. We're not gonna talk about that. I won't share that.
My long johns had a rip in it. I ain't laying my long johns.
His long john, like he took off his outside clothes, his underclothes. He was long johns, right?
They had a rip in it.
They had rips in it. So
that's because I was getting bigger at the time.
So I was like, what in the world? Like this man got rips in his underclothes. Make a long story short, we laid down. And so we laying down, then we kind of was cuddling, but not cuddling.
She was scared to get close.
That is a blatant lie.
You was scared to get close. I wasn't trying to have sex, if that's what you're saying.
He wasn't trying to get close either. And so
I was trying to cuddle.
So I was trying to get close to him. And then I realized that he wasn't trying to do nothing other than that.
But you wasn't trying to go no further really either.
I just kind of was.
Yeah, kind of.
I was. And you was telling me no.
No, I don't recall.
Yes, you did.
I don't recall no. But if I did, it's because I was being a gentleman. I was being a gentleman.
I promise you, because I went back to my girlfriend and we talked about that thing.
Because I wasn't parched.
I went back and I was like, yo, he told me like to chill. And I was like, what in the world you did? We was cuddling real hard. And I was like trying to go a little faster. And he was like, chill.
Yeah, I was like, chill.
And I was like, what's something wrong with him, huh? Sure did. So I had a whole conversation. I thought that was so weird. So in the morning, y'all, because I know y'all trying to get to juicy stuff, but we're not going to take it no juicier than that. That's just what it was. I was trying to go further and he was like, chill.
I said chill.
He was being a gentleman. Do you want to elaborate on why you didn't go further?
I don't think it was a big reason. I think
because you did tell me. No, you did tell me.
What did I tell you? Oh, because I was looking for something serious?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's what I had a conversation prior to that. And like a week before I went to that party, and I was with a couple of my friends. I was like, I'm tired of this game, and I said I wanted to go serious with you, well, not with you, but with per se a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I didn't go that further, because I just know me and who I am.
Right.
I think if I went further, we might have not talked again.
Hmm. Yeah, because I remember like it was a couple of like more dates we went on and it didn't lead to anything, sexual. And I kind of like asked, like, yo, so what is it? And you explained to me that you was just like, because I had a conversation and I said to myself, like, before I met you, that I want to be serious in the next
Mm-hmm.
relationship that I get.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I was a little bit hotter, you know what I mean? Like, so I kind of was trying to go further because I didn't think it was going to lead into anything, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So to meet someone who was really on that kind of phase
That wavelength.
was different. But I have to say that he was still playing games though, but I didn't realize it. So even though you said that you was trying to get serious, he still wasn't serious. Because once he told me, I kind of had to get myself in order and be like, okay, Sambia, so are you on that same wavelength? Like, do you want to go further?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And
We wind up doing it, but we wind up breaking a couple sinks.
that was terrible. You see how he just told he didn't want to get into how he was still playing games. And I
Because they
was
already know that.
But anyway, but I will have to say, which was a very like it was like a main attraction. I love this aspect about you. It was a great attribute. In the morning, he got up and he was like, "I gotta go to work." So he didn't let the fact that it was a snowstorm. He didn't let the fact that he was just at a new girl's house. He
Mm-mm.
was just sleeping with a new girl. He didn't let that stop him from taking care of his responsibilities. So I don't know if I ever told you that, but that turned me on more than anything. Like I was like, oh my goodness, like he really takes care of responsibility.
I try my best.
Yeah, that was like I love that. Like it to me, like I was a college student, I was a teen mother at that point, and I was kind of lazy in the way that I was just maneuvering in life. Yes, I had my own apartment, but I had my own apartment. I was barely paying rent. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
I couldn't afford it. I had an expensive car note. I had a brand new car with an expensive car note that I could barely pay.
Right.
So I had so many issues at this point in my life. And when I have to tell you guys, like I know this is deeper than I wanted it to go,
But
but did,
I think it's necessary because people don't understand like the impact that we had on each other.
right. So like he's not even looking for somebody serious. And even though I didn't go into this thinking that it was going to turn into something serious, I needed someone serious. Like I had just been in a relationship with Lisa's dad that I was in since high school, right? That ended very dysfunctional, that ended very traumatic. So at that point, I kind of was just like done, and I wasn't really searching for anybody, looking for anybody, just looking for somebody to have fun with, basically. But I had issues, like I had financial problems. My family wasn't helping me, so it kind of was like I really don't have time to play. And so when I met Antoine, it was so funny because Antoine was financially stable, and it was crazy how we helped each other in that time frame because once we started to get to know each other, and when I say know each other, like we went on date after date after date. It was like we met and we was never separated.
Mm-hmm.
Like we was always together doing things. And I was asking my sister, I was like, I should tell him this. Like, and she was like, just be honest and tell him. And so I remember one day he was like, come on, let's go out. And I was like, he was going out to dinner or something. And I was like, well, I gotta talk to you. You remember? And I was just like, well, I need to pay my light bill. And he was like, how much is your light bill? And I was just like $200. And he was like, all right, here. And I was like, oh snap. He was like, you ain't got it's not, all you have to do is ask. And I was like, oh snap. So I was like so excited, like, oh my goodness, he just helped me with my light bill. Like my light bill was like off and they gave me like my 30th
Mm-hmm.
extension. So I was
Well,
like, oh my goodness. So he was just always helping me
given.
out and giving. That's why I realized like this man right here, he's financially stable and he was a giver. So even though at the first day I thought like he don't like to share his food, but you were such a giver at your heart, you know?
Yeah, I think my food is like the only thing I got. Even now, like, and it's like I don't have a problem. I think money come and go, so I don't appreciate the dollar bills as everybody else appreciate it. So if I got it, I'll give it. So it
Mhm.
don't. It's not like the end all be. People die for that for a green piece of paper. I
Mhm.
don't care about it like that. I still don't.
Yeah, I see you. Like, and it was so amazing. Like when he met my sister the first week. We went to drive up to her house in Pennsylvania from New York, and he took us out to eat. A week after that, we went to New York to go see New York City to go see my rest of my family. You took us out,
Mm,
and we were just going everywhere. And like Antoine he was such a giver. It wasn't a problem to him. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be honest. I think that kind of like showed me like he was a grown man type. I
mm,
don't know who I was messing with before, but it was kind of like it was a big difference,
mm,
and that was like a real big attraction to me. Like you was about your business. Like he was a worker. He wasn't out there slinging drugs and selling drugs and stuff like that. He was
mm.
actually a worker. You know what I mean? Like a W-2 worker, like working. And I just see like he had good work.
W2 worker.
Yeah, like you just had good work ethic. You know, it showed me something. I wasn't working at the time. I was just interning and going to college. So
I want to sleep in.
yeah, he wouldn't sleep in. So I would like try to get him to sleep over my house a couple of times. Like that wasn't something that he did regularly. You know what I mean? So
Well, not just not sleeping in. I mean, I stayed at night at your house, but I was just up in the morning. I
yeah,
know I wouldn't be if I'm up. If we laying in the bed, I gotta,
yeah.
I gotta be doing something. I gotta get
Hmm.
ready for breakfast or something. Or I'll go to the gym and come back. But I wasn't a person that just lay in the bed and just be laying and just. I feel like you got to see the sun. My
Hmm.
grandfather told me, you said you got to wake up in the morning, you got to see the sun. He said, so you got to see the sun either at its highest point or you need to see it while it's going to its highest point.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So did you think that I was like a fast girl? What do you think?
I didn't, I don't, that doesn't mean anything. Like, I mean, like to be real with you, like, you know, you meet so many different women that, they all have some type of attribute that they want that person at whenever they want that person. So it doesn't mean that you fast because you wanted me at that time. It just means
Hmm.
that I did something or I was something more than the next person that you didn't probably do at that time. So that's how I looked at it. So I never looked at it like
Hmm.
quote unquote that you was fast.
Hmm.
I was faster though. Slowed you down, girl.
No comment.
Slowed you down. I think it was just at a point in time. Like, yeah, I made mistakes. Like, I think I did, but Satan still got a control over me, still wanting to be with other women. But I think I had good intentions, but I just probably still wasn't ready as myself as well.
Right.
So, but to look at it back now, it's like, you had the good intentions because you at that point you didn't try to be with nobody else. But then once it came to a place where something looked different, it was just like I'm rolling that way because
Right.
that's a lot of men are brought up that way that you should have multiple women. Like
Right.
my father, that's what my father told me. He told me how to sell drugs and be with women, and that
Right.
was it. It was nothing else. Like, hey, you need to treat your mother. This is how you. I should have. He never taught me because he wasn't in the house to teach my mother how to be a man to my wife, to my mother.
Right.
How he should have been to my mom. So, and I never seen that through her boyfriends either.
How to be that role model and how to be that stand up guy for a woman.
Yeah, well, being present. That's a big thing. Being present, and I'm
Hmm.
not talking about physically just standing there. Being present, like just ever to be able to comprehend what's going on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So of course, that took us for a loop, and that almost broke us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of was just like in the beginning, like, why did you say you wanted to get serious if you didn't want to get serious?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I was cool with just playing games and being friends. Like, we could have just been friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, I don't know, I made a mistake. Like,
Mm-hmm.
can we try again? And then like we kind of went through a lot of trials and tribulations, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when we was good, we was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think the beginning, like if you asked us, like I felt like we fell in love, like or we fell hard, like
Mm-hmm.
when I went to Kerry Hilson had a song that knock you down
Mm-hmm.
around that time, and it was just like sometimes love just knocks you down.
But sometimes you ain't ready for love as well. You're
Mm.
not ready. You're not ready for like what it fully entails. That's just like finding God. You know how like people like mess up with God, like God be having you on a straight and arrow, and then you backslid or something happens.
Hmm.
It's the same concept because sometimes you ain't ready for what God got in store for you. Either you're afraid or you just not ready to die to yourself to hear what to allow God to knock you down to see what you've really done.
Right.
Because you could fight against it. Like just that's why it took me hard. It took me through trial and tribulations to find God, and then I had to go to jail to be able to find God.
Right.
So I mean, I had a sense of God. Like I had a sense of what love is. Like I knew how to pay bills. I knew how to get up and go to work. I knew how to be there, be present, make you laugh. This, that, and the third. But when I'm going out, I might slip up. It's just like I had the sense of having God. I knew what God entailed, but I'm gonna slip up and get this drink when I know that was the devil.
Right.
Satan was definitely pulling me back with that.
Right. I think that's interesting that you said that because like even for me, like I was like, all right, cool. When you was like, let's try the relationship, and I was like, all right, cool, like let's try this relationship. Even for me, coming from a very dysfunctional relationship, and even having a like not having healthy role models before me in relationships, like I have my parents, and
that's another story.
That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But that wasn't a healthy model to follow. And so when I got with you and you made mistakes and you made slip ups, instead of talking and communicating about it, you know what I mean? My key was to flip out.
Yeah, but that was like you will see that from like parents taking us that love, like you just said. Like my mom, she was reactive sometimes. My dad was promiscuous. My dad ran the streets, so it was just like those things was like, I seen it on both sides. Like my mom's, I'm gonna accept this situation. My dad, he was afraid of responsibility.
Right.
So, so sometimes, we all, find this thing that we still got with our parents, even to now. Like we still fight, we still wrestling with generational curses.
Yeah, we are, unfortunately, but I think that's why we have to continue to keep God first and be intentional in everything that we do.
Yeah, God is amazing because if you keep him the center of your life, he's very understanding. Right. He ain't gonna he'll let you go through your trial and tribulations, but he ain't gonna sit there and be yelling at you either.
No. And I always remember like God is slow to anger. Like God is not going to rush to do anything, even if there's a problem. God doesn't rush. God is very patient. He's a patient father. And, but he's slow to anger. So it's like sometimes we think that when we mess up in life, that I mess up and God's gonna be upset with me. He's not gonna forgive me. And God is such a forgiving father. Like, unfortunately, or fortunately, God is not like our physical parents that we have on earth. You know what I mean? He gives us physical parents on earth, that we can have. But God is not like them. God is so much more patient. He's so much more kind.
He's just a different. He's just a
more
different.
understanding.
He's just different.
Yeah.
When we can't, but you just don't take those things for granted from our parents. Like they went through things that we never went through. So they seen things that we never seen. So even though it was bad that they passed it down and we couldn't understand and they couldn't understand or get that grasp with God, it's just that we have to figure out where it stops at. Where does that negative, system stop? Where does that class stop at? So it's like, they always talk about classes like, oh, you're a class of the 90s or you're the class of the 80s, class of the 70s. All right, we're a class of certain generational Christians that need to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I thank God for how like this story played out and how like it worked in our favor. But I mean, we can talk. Let us know in the comments if you guys want to hear more about it. I don't want to make this longer than it needs to, but we've been through some things. Like it's like love knocked us down when we met. We hit it off so well, and we was with each other for like forever, like always together. But there were so many issues, and Antoine mentioned those generational curses that we had to overcome individually, but also collectively that we had to just overcome. So it's like sometimes you see like when somebody say like you can see
the light at the end of the tunnel.
Not the light, but like what is that? Like I can't think of the saying, but you can see like the success, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. You don't know what was under.
Oh, the struggle.
Like you don't know the struggle. Like they see the glory, but they don't know the story. Like you know what I mean? That y'all can see our marriage now, and y'all say, "Wow," but y'all don't know what we went through. Like I remember sharing like our story, our love story, and seeing that like we was together for 6 years before we got engaged and before we got married, and people are like, oh my gosh, why did you wait 6 years to propose to a woman like who already had three of your kids. Like that's crazy to be with a man for that long. And while that's okay, I don't take that defensively because that's our love story.
Right.
You know what I mean? People make mistakes, and I thank God that it worked to my favor and it worked out for us both. But it don't always work out. You know what I mean?
But that's where the generational curse start. Like we didn't know what a healthy marriage looked like. We
No,
didn't.
not at
I
all.
never even I never even met nobody that really proposed to anybody. Like I ain't
Right,
got friends that that's married. You know what I mean? I
right,
mean I got married or I got friends that are married, but I ain't have friends like that was the thing we doing. We
right,
get I'm going to high school. I'll meet this girl. We gonna get married, or I'm gonna go get me a job, and we gonna. I ain't have friends like that.
right,
A lot of my uncles wasn't married, but my aunts was married. So you know what I mean. So I
right,
think it's like, all right, this must be a woman thing, or it could be
right.
it's one sided. So it's not taught to us. It's not taught to us. Like, but we seen it when we came down here though.
Right. We seen it when we came down south. Like everybody that we met was high school
Sweethearts,
sweethearts.
right?
They went to the military together from high school to the military. They got married. They had their family. So I think that was so amazing. Like to be like I've never seen that before either. Like my
No.
sisters and stuff. Like if they was married, it didn't last long. Like you know what I mean. Like I've never seen a healthy marriage. But
Right.
sometimes God needs to. You need to be that generational
You need
curse
to be an
breaker.
example for
You
people.
need to be that example. And so like I thank God for all of the things that we went through. And while like sometimes the story gets sensitive and it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe we went through that.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to thank God because you can't, someone said it to me in the comments and I thank God for that. You can't take the good of God and don't want to take the test.
Right.
You got to be okay with taking the test and taking the good
Mm.
because most times through the test it produces the good.
Right.
But if you're only willing to take the good, then my God, you're going to miss out on so much.
Everything.
god says
Learning.
god says don't he says don't fall into diverse temptations, right? And he also says what is the word I'm looking for, y'all? He says it's not in vain. Trials and tribulation is
Right.
not in vain because it builds character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's like I'm trying to explain that the things that you go through in your
Right.
relationship. Now I'm not saying take abuse, I'm not trying to say take all of that, I'm not saying that, but just know that it produces things, it
Right.
builds things up in your relationship, in your marriage. Like if you think that a marriage is going to be perfect
Ain't
and
no peaches and cream.
it's not peaches and
Marriage
cream.
ain't for the punks, and following Christ ain't for the punks.
Like
So
you're gonna go through
you're gonna go through
something.
so many things, so many obstacles, and it may not because of y'all. It could be just other things like the brick fell off the house. Like it might not just
Mhm.
because of your relationship with your spouse. It could just be certain things, financials. It could be the grass is growing higher. It could be the dogs are barking. It could be so many different other things. The neighbor is bothering me today, and it's never
Right,
happened until we got married. Like it could be so many different things. It's just that
right,
you gotta stay. You gotta stay prayed up. You gotta be steady. You can't not move or be moved by any problem. You just gotta pray on it. You gotta
right.
pray on it and work through it.
I want to end it with this, you guys. Like I was while you were speaking, I was thinking of a couple that I used to know, right? And I used to talk to these people, and she used to say how much her marriage was so perfect, and I was like, wow, that's scary. Like, I would share some of the things that Antoine and I went through. Like, we went through infidelity on both aspects. You know what I mean? Not just Antoine, but it was on both parties. We went through infidelity. We went through things, and I would say some of the things that we went through. Like Antoine was incarcerated. I had some issues. Like I had some baggage that he had to be like, what's this? Like, you know
Mm,
what I mean? Like, let's deal with this. We had just issues upon issues that before marriage that we had to deal with, right?
mm,
And so I would share some of these things with this young lady, and she was like, wow, we've never been through that. Like, we've never been through that. And I was just like, wow, but I realized that right now, even though you haven't gone through those things, sometimes the person next to you won't have to go through those things. And
right.
like Antoine said, there are generational curses that we're breaking. So maybe y'all don't have to go through infidelity like Antoine and I did. Like we went through infidelity before marriage, not in marriage. Okay. So prior 6 years, 7.5 years prior, we went through that. But y'all may never have to go through that. It depends on what kind of generational curses y'all are assigned to break.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I'm trying to
Right.
say? I'm trying to make that clear for you guys. I remember this couple saying that they didn't go through this, they didn't go through this, they didn't go through this. But I know that once we got to really know each other, they was going through a whole lot other
Right.
stuff that me and Antoine had we would never go
Yeah,
through.
so it's just
You
so
know?
you're set and you're assigned to certain things. So you
Right.
can't just my trial and my tribulation ain't gonna be your trial and tribulation. No
Right.
way, shape, or form.
The reason why I'm bringing up this is I'm not trying to talk negatively about what they went through, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's just that we are assigned different tasks. I
Right.
think sometimes we get it confused, okay? Like we're here on this earth not to live our best life.
No.
We're here by assignment.
Your best life come after.
Your best life come after, and God is so faithful that your best life can happen by way of living your life on purpose.
Right.
If you're operating in purpose, those things will come. The scripture tells you first seek the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and everything else will be added onto you.
Amen.
Right? So if you are assigned to this task, this is the task that you're assigned to, but you trying to you trying to go to Hawaii,
You're trying to do everything
you
else
trying to
well.
do everything else. Be faithful over the little things that God has given to you.
Right.
Be faithful over that. Be faithful over that assignment that God has given to you. Because I promise everything else that your heart is desiring, not the selfish desires, but the desires that God imparts in us.
Mm-hmm.
We get that twisted sometimes and we think that, I desire a Cadillac, I desire this, no. Not the selfish desires. And I know I'm preaching y'all, but not the selfish desires. God imparts what he wants for us to have
In our
in
heart.
us, and those are the desires of our heart.
Amen.
Okay, God doesn't give you what you desire, he gives you what he wants you to desire.
Right.
But first be faithful over the little things that he's given to you, that assignment, that marriage. You don't realize that I know that I was assigned to Antoine.
Mm-hmm.
It hit me like after a while I just realized like he was part of my assignment.
Right.
And guess what, there are times where I'm just like, this man, right? I know I'm a part of his assignment.
Right.
He got to deal with knucklehead Samvia. Like I know it all, right? I always know it all.
She know it all.
And he don't like. He be like, he's so patient with me, and I be like, let me tell you what the Spirit told me. Let me tell you what God told me. Let me tell you what God told me.
Everything
and
he tells you.
And he be patient with me, and I thank God because I couldn't imagine having a husband just like I am. You get what I'm trying to say? Like if I had like y'all said opposites attract. He's so like he's patient, he's kind, he's like he'll wait. This man don't yell at me. You know what I mean? Like we're two different beings, but I know that we are assigned to each other. So I want you guys to stay faithful over that. I want you guys to stay committed to that, to know that you are assigned to one another. Yeah. That we're and guess what? Maybe your assignment is more extensive,
significant.
It's maybe not more significant, but it could just be more extensive, meaning that it's more heavier. It's more meatier, right? Like I had to deal with my husband being an alcoholic, like that. And people say, "How'd you deal with that?" Oh man, how you deal with that? I can't deal with my husband. I'm just like, first of all, the person who said they can and the person who said they can't,
it's telling the same thing.
They're both correct.
They're telling the truth.
You stop saying you can't, okay? You in yourself, you can't even go to Walmart without having Jesus help you. Right? You can't do nothing without having the strength of God. You can't do nothing. So you got to start saying,
we got to start praying for it.
Yeah, start praying for it. Start praying over that God's strength will be upon you.
You could complain. You could complain as much as you want, but that ain't gonna help nothing. You can complain that this person ain't doing this or this ain't that. You better pray over it because you can't change that person. Only person that can change that person is God and your prayers.
And I realized that. And I'm sorry, I don't want to make this video long. I realized that. I remember I used to try to change Antoine. I used to be like, all right, you know what? All I got to do is work with him on this, and this will be. And I realized that in of itself was a job, and that job was not my job.
And be specific in your prayer. You can't just say, "Oh, I want you. I want this man to change." No, you need to say, how you want this man to change. What areas do you want this person to change? Where do you need the strength and the health at?
Right.
Because if you don't be direct in what you're saying, then it's not gonna work.
Yeah, we went deep, y'all. I didn't expect that to go so deep, but we gave y'all the tea on what the second and the first date was like. Let
Some
me know.
black tea.
Oh Lord, some black tea. That was some green tea. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to know how
Anything else? Anything that you got? But I don't want it just to be specific because some things that was said was like deep. So just anything that you felt that was intriguing to you, put it in the comments so we can make a video on it.
Right, like let's do this. I do fly out tomorrow, but we'll try to get back to these comments so that we can be able to be intentional and making sure that we are answering your questions. But yes, thank you for the prayers, you guys. I've seen all of your prayers. Flying out tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Up and away.
Up and away. We love you guys, and we thank you for joining us on this beautiful journey. This transition is definitely a transition for our family. And until next time,
peace.